y'all, today is finally the reveal of the inhabitants of my Exo-Terra dart frog Frogs and Company build that I worked on. It's been about 2 months sitting, letting it grow in, seed in with the microfauna. I always recommend building the tanks in advance and letting them grow out a little bit if you can. I'll kind of touch on a big reason why once we do a little bit more of a tour. But a couple things I changed. If you watched the first video, you may remember I had some begonia thelmae up here and in the back. I didn't really like the way it was growing in, and so I changed it for a strawberry begonia up here and a peperonia scandens back there. And that one's already trailing nicely, and this one's got a couple new leaves on it, so I'm happier with that transition. But before we release the fabulous beasts in here, a couple little things. You can see some nice new growth in here. So all of our bromeliads are doing lovely. The Freesia racinae, Freesia saundersi, and Freesia fenestralis. This dude has definitely grown the most, and he's nice and well rooted in. And we'll kind of get a close up because it's a little bit hard to see right now. But going back to why I always recommend letting the tanks set a little bit. A, let them establish before your inhabitants get in there, kind of trample it up and disrupt them. But B, when I put in that Alocasia maharani, it initially did not do well, which is not terribly uncommon when you start getting into certain, pickier plants in these tropical vivariums. And all of the original leaves from it died off. But all of the other plants were doing well. So I had my suspicions that it was just kind of shock being put into a new environment. And now we have new leaf growth on it. So if you take away nothing else from this video, just my biggest tip to you is don't give up on new plants that you just added into a vivarium. If you're seeing decent growth with any of the other plants, give it time. Don't just automatically rip it out. My favorite part of this enclosure right now, you can see, is the Macotes petola, or jewel orchid. Actually has 2 blooms going on right now. So these guys usually bloom only once a year, and they only bloom when they are happy and healthy. So I love seeing that. But without further ado, the species that are going in here are the pair of Ufaga Pomelio strawberry blue jeans. So these guys are probably my favorite dart frogs in my collection. They're very special to me. Reason being, believe it or not, these were actually the very first dart frogs that ever bred for me. So if you know dart frogs, you know about Ufaga, you know why that's pretty special. But this little one, let's see how you like it. Just take a little leaf since I don't have gloves on. Come on, buddy. There we go. Very bold little dudes. I absolutely adore these frogs. They have a lot of sentimental value to me. They're actually some of the oldest dart frogs in my collection. And they reside here in my living room because I love seeing them and listening to my male calling pretty much every single day. And now we have number 2 going in here. And like I said, this is a sexed pair that I've had for many years now. And they are excellent parents. They decided to hurry off, going to check out their new digs. But I'll throw in some footage. If y'all are unfamiliar with the Ufaga species, they're really remarkable little creatures. They invest a ton of parental care into raising their young. And so the male will carry the tadpoles on their back and deposit them in individual little water sources. And I'll throw some film canisters in here. They'll often lay eggs or tadpoles in there as well. And then my pair, the dad always stands guard while the mother goes around every couple of days and deposits some unfertilized eggs in to feed the young. So really, really neat. And I get asked a lot. I do sell the froglets whenever we have them available, but they usually go pretty fast because unfortunately this species is still very commonly imported or wild caught specimens. So I love being able to produce healthy captive bred Oophaga pumilio strawberry blue jeans for the hobby. But I hope y'all enjoyed watching this little journey, and I am certainly excited to see how these guys fare in their new enclosure. And maybe in a couple of months, once it's grown in even more, I'll do another update. Who knows, maybe we'll have some little froggy juniors in there before too long. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye.